All right, guys. So the woke NFL is getting sued. Okay, they're getting sued by a police officer because the NFL was a little bit too woke. Right? They were recklessly woke. Recklessly woke. Okay, so woke that they may have defamed a police officer in the process of trying to bring awareness and attention to the victims of police brutality and systemic racism in this country. Okay, as the NFL is facing a lawsuit from a police officer over alleged implication he criminally killed campaign honoree, according to reports. Let's read a little bit more here. An Indianapolis police officer filed a lawsuit against the NFL on Monday over video and tweets the league published last year, claiming that a black man he shot and killed died because of systemic racism. The NFL, as a part of the league Say Their Name Stories campaign, honored Dreasjon Reed in a tweet in December. The NFL said Reed was one of the many individuals being honored by players and coaches this season through the NFL's helmet decal program. So as you see here, the woke NFL is honoring Dreasjon Reed, right? Whom, if you guys have read the story about what happened to him, apparently he was in a high-speed chase with police, right? And that ultimately ended with him getting out his car at a business, getting in a shootout, exchanging gunfire with police, and ultimately end up passing away. Now, police said they tried to deploy a taser, and that failed. And, you know, there's different accounts of what actually happened. But the cop that killed Dreasjon Reed has not been held criminally liable for anything. But all you really need to know about the story is that there was a high-speed chase and dude tried to get away, and allegedly there was a shootout between police. And the NFL, for whatever reason, didn't do basic research into this story to see, is this somebody that we really want to honor here, right? Do we want to just take everybody? And they did. And guys, it just kind of shows you how desperate the league was to actually find victims of police brutality and systemic racism. That they would just take any old story, okay? And again, this goes directly against the narrative that this is some type of epidemic in this country that, people should be up in arms about and burning down businesses and destroying communities over, right? They're so desperate that they had to pick a person that was allegedly in a high-speed chase and a shootout with police to honor him as some type of victim of police brutality. In my opinion, that's how overblown this issue is. It really is. Again, I'm not saying it's not an issue, but this one ain't it, Chief. Again, it kind of reminds me of the Anton Rose Jr. situation where the Steelers decided to try to honor him, okay? And if you guys remember that story, he was allegedly in a drive-by shooting, okay? He was allegedly involved in the car. He may have been the one fired the gun. But yet they decided to honor this person. And one of the players, Alejandro Villanueva, he actually decided to do some research into the situation to figure out what had actually happened. Once he had read what had actually happened, he was like, I'm not wearing this dude's name on my helmet, right? I'm not honoring this person, right? It's funny how far a Google search will take you. This is the problem with these woke corporations. They don't really care about the facts. They don't really care about the details, the context of the situation. They're just trying to get paid. They're just trying to make money. And the NFL, for as woke as they claim to be, apparently they're not that woke because they've been accused of race norming, which is assuming that black players start off at a lower cognitive function than white players so they can save money on awards they're supposed to give out to players who make claims against them for getting concussions. So, for as woke as these companies claim to be, they're really doing it for the money. It's all fake, okay? And NFL, they just decided to throw anybody up there and honor him. And now, hopefully, they're going to pay a price for it because it is dangerous for them just to claim that every time somebody is shot and killed by the police that there's some type of victim of systemic racism or police brutality, because that automatically assumes that the officer that shot that person is some type of racist, okay? Or something like that. And obviously that is not right to accuse officers of that, especially good officers who are just doing their jobs. Again, I'm not saying there's no bad officers. I'm not saying there's not officers that unjustly kill people. But you have to thoroughly vet these stories before you just put them out there. So let's read a little bit more here. Indianapolis Metro Police Department officer Dreasjon Mercer filed the lawsuit in the federal Southern District of Indiana court. Mercer's lawyer, Guy A. Relford, wrote in the complaint that the materials the league published imply that Mercer committed occupational misconduct and even criminal acts during the May 6th encounter with Reed, similar to that which were inflicted upon George Floyd. Relford called Mercer a hero in a separate statement, according to Fox 59. Dreasjon Mercer is a hero. He tracked down a very dangerous criminal wanted by the police who is a threat to the citizens of Indianapolis, Relford said in a statement. He put his life on the line and was nearly killed in that effort. He was completely exonerated after an exhaustive investigation into the death of Mr. Reed. For NFL Enterprises, the answer suggests he was involved in police or racist misconduct is totally false, defamatory, and unacceptable. What happened here has nothing to do with racism. And guys, y'all want to know the funniest part about this story? The officer that killed a guy was black. This is a black officer here, okay? Ain't it funny how this works? And that's probably part of the reason why you never heard about this story, because nobody cares when a black officer does it, okay? And that just shows you how desperate the NFL was just to run with this story. They ran with literally anything. While we support NFL Enterprises' efforts to address social justice issues, Officer Mercer is taking a stand for the many good cops on duty across America. He is standing up for his friends and colleagues and sending a message that before you accuse a decorated police officer of misconduct in a national campaign, you had better get your facts straight. Amen. Get the facts straight before you start throwing out accusations, okay? It's really not that hard. You're the NFL. You have billions of dollars. But see, they don't really care. They were desperate for a story. They're desperate to perpetuate this narrative, okay? And then, guys, this is why you saw with the Ma'Khia Bryant situation how even though it was plain as day that police officer that unfortunately shot her was right and justified in what he was doing, like he saved a life, that's why they try to make a thing out of it, because they're desperate to try to perpetuate this narrative that this is some type of epidemic that's going on in this country. And the reason why is because it's lucrative, it's profitable. But then you got people like Obama that go out here and want to talk about how the right and conservatives make money off of putting fear into white people. When you got the liberal media, they make money putting fear into black people. They make money pushing narratives like this all day long. Corporate America, the whole wokeism movement is one big grift from corporate America, right? Wokeness is currency. Those are the people that's really making money. Conservatives are not the ones on the side of the money here. The woke revolutionaries are the ones that's on the side of the money. Indianapolis police told the Indy Star that Mercer is still a police officer. The NFL has not commented on the lawsuit. Mercer is reportedly seeking a jury trial and substantial compensatory damages. The incident between police and Reed occurred in May 2020, just a few weeks before Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police officer. According to the paper, Mercer shot and killed Reed after a vehicle chase turned into a foot chase. An investigation into the shooting revealed that Reed fired shots at Mercer during the pursuit, which an attorney from Reed's family denied. A grand jury decided not to bring a criminal indictment against Mercer. All right, so there you have it. He's suing the NFL, and we will see where this goes. And we will see if this opens the door for more police officers to do this, right? To take a stand for themselves, right? Because, again, policing in America is under attack. It really is, right? Anytime an officer does something, whether it's justified or not, it's going to be looked at with scrutiny, okay? And whether or not it's right or wrong, public perception matters. And these woke companies out here pushing this narrative that every single shooting is somehow systemic racism, that in virtue hurts those officers that were involved in those shootings. It makes them seem like they were bad people. Okay? So, hey, who knows? We'll see. Maybe the NBA might get a lawsuit or something like that. We'll see where this goes, right? But hopefully, these woke corporations will think twice before honoring people who weren't necessarily victims, but basically people who put themselves in bad situations with the police. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.